What do you hate being labeled as? I'm a big person and people automatically assume that I'm aggressive and violent. I don't like having to explain that I have no desire to cause anyone pain. I feel like that should be expected of common people. Same bud. I'm 7'1" and I'm not a skinny dude. I'm also black and I have a lot of tattoos. People will switch sides of the street when I'm walking down the sidewalk. But really I'm a gentle dude and I've never hurt anybody nor have any desire to. Sometimes it hurts my feelings but at the same time I get it. A B. I do make an effort to have a pleasant expression on my face, but if I'm concentrating, I know it can be mistaken as scowling. A weeb. I've lived in Japan going on 30 years and never had the slightest interest in anime. In the early 90s it hadn't reached US shores yet. I was looking for a job in the budding IT industry, not a waifu. Alcoholic. Haven't had a drink in 9 years. I'm a lot of other things beyond just a guy who once had a drinking problem. I don't know why for some people that's the centerpiece of my identity. Congrats on your sobriety. You deserve recognition, my friend. Keep it up. A liar. Trust is the most important thing to me, and I make a point of being honest. When someone goes off on me and calls me a liar, either to cover their butt or just because they do not want to admit their data is inaccurate, it is deeply insulting. Useless. It's a word I've been labeled as multiple times throughout my childhood by certain family members. Absolutely ruined my self-esteem. I hate being labeled cute when I'm angry and having my feelings completely invalidated because of things I can't control like my stature and appearance. Bite them. Trust me, it works. Introverted and quiet. I'm actually very social. I just hate small talk and it takes a bit of time getting to know people before I feel comfortable really being myself around them. I'm like that too. I can be really open and friendly but I have trouble making the first step. Old. Skeleton and or bony. I've been the skinniest in my class and everyone picked on my arms and how I was able to see my ribs. I still can but I'm ashamed of it at this point. I hate my body because of those nicknames. Frick em. That body carries around your mind and your heart and your soul. Every body that does that is beautiful. Easier said than done. But try to at least love that your body does all that, even if sometimes you might want it to be a different shape. It does its job well. It's amazing. I'm here to represent those dudes who speak with a stereotypically gay accent but are not actually gay. I believe the word you're looking for is flamboyant mayo. A pothead and a vegan. Apparently it's because I'm blonde, wear a lot of jewelry, and my hair is wavy. No joke, this is legitimately what people said to me. I've never even smoked weed. A victim or a survivor. I've been through some abuse in my life, starting from childhood and ending up in a woman's refuge at the age of 41, with just a bag of clothes and 2 kids. I didn't survive anything more than I survived this past 18 months. It doesn't define me. I'm not brave or strong. I just made better choices. This will be unpopular, I know, but it's how I feel. Being strange that I don't have kids due to fertility issues. I want kids. However, not everyone wants kids, like how is it anyone else's business? I hate this one, and if you say you don't want children, then you're just selfish, but if you drop the fertility thing they automatically jump to adoption. Like crap. Let me live my life the way I want. Not everyone wants kids and that is okay. People think I'm the guy that's gonna lose it and shoot up the place. Maybe I come across as unstable, but I'm actually doing just fine. I'm sure you're doing just fine. Death Spiral 321. A redneck. I'm white, drive a truck, hunt, fish, have a beagle, and listen to country music, among many other genres. I'm always amazed at all the racist and homophobic crap people say to me, thinking I'm some good old boy. That tall man. Even in high school people addressed me as that tall man will do this or do that if you don't behave. I worked at a grocery store. I guess parents used my height to frighten their kids. NGL, anyone over 6'4" is probably getting tall man as a descriptor. Goth or emo? No, I'm not goth or emo just because I have pale skin and black hair. I didn't ask for natural black hair and pale skin. The benefit to being pale is that you can strip down naked in the winter and can instantly become invisible when it snows. Young, inexperienced, ignorant. I'm 33, but could very easily pass for early 20s. I'm tall and thin. I've worked in the electromechanical field for 15 years and have been a mechanic longer than that. I've done tons of physical labor and also hold certs in it networking. But if I ever end up somewhere new, I'm instantly the kid and get treated as such. It creates this nasty short acting burnout where I feel like I have to prove my worth quickly to try and overcome that. A prude. Just because I refuse to have casual hookups and instead save myself for someone special who loves and respects me. Not exactly the same thing, but I strongly dislike being called buddy. Buddy is what you call a 4-year-old or a dog, not a grown man. I'm not your buddy, guy. I hate being reduced to my identity politics slot. During the Dem primary last year, a few people just assumed I was supporting Buttigieg just because I share a sexual orientation with him. I never did. I didn't care for his approach to healthcare, among other things. This was a complete surprise to these people. I'm an issues voter. Always have been. I want leaders, not mascots. I want leaders, not mascots. You hit the nail on the head with this one. A terrorist. I'm one of 1.4 billion. If all of us were terrorists, America could be swarmed with tourists and get freaking wrecked. Indians aren't even Middle Eastern. Not hate, but mildly annoyed when people call me a gamer. You don't usually call someone a reader when they read a lot of books, or a boater for someone who likes driving boats. Smart. I do okay in classes and I love learning. But because I have many smart hobbies, people always put me on a pedestal or are intimidated by me. They feel they can't associate with me the same as others even though I'm literally the same. I read a lot of books, play a lot of chess, play a lot of poker, love math. This doesn't mean I am an intellectual, just love hobbies. Person with autism. I'm autistic. I call myself autistic. I find person first language to be balls, and if you have to remind yourself that I'm a person every time you speak of me, that's your problem. I feel like it also end up contributing to the pathologization of autism, treating autism as a disease that needs to be treated or cured instead of a different neurotype that needs to be accommodated. Ultimately, I understand that people who say that tend to be well-meaning, but I, and many other autistic people I've spoken to, don't like it. Yes. As someone with ADHD, being called annoying or immature can really sting. I don't think people realize that I've been getting annoyed with myself for my entire life and I'm trying really hard to be better, but unfortunately it doesn't always work. Came here to say this. Airhead is another one. People think I'm stupid when they first meet me because I can't help but make impulsive, half-baked comments. Shy. I don't need to talk all the time and people that do annoy me. I'm also comfortable being alone. When I need to assert myself, I do it confidently. 99% of what comes out of most people's pie holes is rubbish. Crazy. I'm a girl and suffer from mental illness, so it cuts deep. I can be mad at you because you're being mean. Doesn't mean I'm being crazy. I get you. I'm being misunderstood a lot too and have mental health issues. It doesn't mean I can't reason. Just woman as a prefix to anything. Like woman cop, woman doctor, woman electrician. I mean, I'm none of those specifically, but I've experienced this used as a modifier on my accomplishments and it pisses me off. It's like running a marathon and getting first place in women between the ages of 50 and 53 with mild scoliosis. Yay. You're pretty good at X for a girl. God, I hate that so much. I'm a spiritual person. I visit all different places of worship and talk to different people about their beliefs, and I believe in every religion. I constantly get called a devil worshipper. I have no idea why. A creep. I was at the bar with a friend of mine and I ran to the bar to buy us a couple drinks. Some random girls walked up to her while my back was turned and asked if they needed to call the cops for her because that guy was creeping on her. She didn't tell me about it until the next day, but it freaking shattered me. It may seem trivial, but being immediately typecasted and strangers feeling like they need to monitor me while I try and enjoy my day off is really upsetting. I'm a USMC infantry vet. At this point, Every label, from the oh my gosh what a hero crap, to the baby killer white supremacist bulls, I don't tell people in public at this point anymore. Creepy. Granted I can come off that way, just sometimes it's misunderstood. For example, pre-pandemic, during slow days at work I'd stare off at random directions while thinking. Occasionally people thought I was staring at them, or I'd randomly bump into a coworker. Apparently I have a bad poker face if I find someone attractive. I'm tired of being labeled as either a Satanist, extroverted, outgoing, full of energy, or downright hateful because I play drums and I'm into extreme metal like death metal and black metal. I like to think I'm chill, but I get a little pee when people insist I'm supposed to be high energy because the music is high energy. Stubborn. If I am focused and confident about something that I want to achieve, I would like to call myself as determined and not stubborn. Strong. Sounds so nice, but I've gotten it since I was an abused child, and now I don't show negative emotion at all for fear of looking weak. I feel responsible for every freaking thing and person in my life. I'm 43 and it feels like I'm dying embers in a skin suit, only anger and responsibility keeping me upright. Got diagnosed with lupus, meds made me sick, so I stopped treating it completely because I can't afford to be that weak. Found a tumor in my uterus, benign. Last check, but the hysterectomy has been on hold 2 years because who will take care of my house teens boomer parents with all their joint replacements? Strong went from a compliment to a burdensome expectation really fast. Lazy and unmotivated. I have ADHD with depression and anxiety, which causes me massive sleep issues as well as a plethora of other symptoms that from the outside looks like I'm lazy and irresponsible. When I show up I'm very friendly and very competent at almost anything. This leads most people to believe I have no problems since it doesn't show when I actually show up. Showing up is what's hard for me. I am great at appearing well adjusted, which often leads to people having unrealistic expectations of my capability. If I try to explain, I'm mostly met with judgment since my symptoms are things neurotypicals experience themselves now and then and can't grasp the difference that I feel it every day. I know that feeling too has become a trigger for me because no you don't. You might know the feeling of putting off a task you don't want to do. Try having that feeling with every task in your life, from cooking to brushing your teeth. A creep. My worst fear is making people uncomfortable just by existing, and people not talking to me cause I look kinda intimidating. Doesn't help with anything. Cocky arrogant. Just because I'm an attractive guy who is generally quiet and more introverted, whenever I'm in a social setting people label me as arrogant and full of myself. I'm literally just doing my own thing and mainly keeping to myself. I've been told by people who are now good friends that when they met me they thought I was a cold bee. I'm just careful about who I get close to. The strong black woman leaves no room for us to be vulnerable and express certain emotions without having to be strong and endure everything no matter how fricked up it is. That phrase sets unrealistic expectations on us that are far too common today. If this doesn't make sense, I can elaborate based on my personal experiences and my interactions with fellow black women. A suck-up brown-noser teacher's pet. I feel like personally and professionally this is my biggest downfall in life, and I have no idea how to change it because it's not done on purpose. I hated being labeled as an emo in school, but looking back, there was a bit of evidence against me. I was a quiet kid with long bangs who hung out with a slightly gothic kid, but nonetheless it still bothered me. I'm Afghan and Pakistani, so certain words like P and T terrorist are pretty common. One of my teachers likened me to Osama bin Laden, so colon. I've no idea what the P is supposed to be, sorry. A liar. I believe trust and communication is key for any relationship, and I'm careful of never lying, and I freaking hate when people go dropping lightly the term liar, just because they are insecure. We are friends because I trust you and should you. I always ask, have I lied to you before? Same answer always, no, you haven't, period. Insensitive or rude. I can be blunt at times, but that doesn't mean I'm rude. I will tell people right away if I feel uncomfortable by something they've done or said to me, or if they ask me how I'm doing I will give them a direct answer. If you don't want a real answer, then don't pretend to care by asking. Except customer service people who are required to for politeness. Meanwhile, I'm over here changing the holiday menu to adjust for X person's allergies they didn't mention until now and Y person's preferences so that everyone has a full plate they enjoy. I show I care by what I do for people, but actions aren't always recognized. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.